How are you?
Seeking justice for all we shore. Welfare first, don't spend it on bombs and guns. Welfare first, don't spend it on guns and bombs. Welfare first, don't spend it on guns and bombs. Welfare first. The International unites the human race. So comrades, come rally, and the last fight let us face. The International unites the human race.
So, we've come to Burford to remind ourselves once again of the importance of the Leveller's vision. Power has to be taken away from all future governments to prevent both kingly or parliamentary tyranny. And of course that message seems equally relevant today as it was in 1649. As Thomas Rainsborough famously said in the Putney debates, "The poorest he that is in England hath a right to live as the greatest he." Take that, Farage. For after he had pulled off his doublet, he stretched out his arms and bid the soldiers to do their duties, looking them in the face, till they gave fire upon him, without the least kind of fear or terror. Thus was death the end of his present joy, and the beginning of his future eternal felicity.
And it's lost its bamboo. Oh no! So
only one side. For school holidays, yeah. But I put in the first week of July. It's possible.
Well, they can see it in the festival.
Every time, if you look at our history of the last century, when we've gone through economic crises, what emerges is either a radical movement to look at alternative economic strategies that we can pursue, that we can tackle the inequalities within our society, but what also emerges is demagogic opportunists that might seize the discontent, focus it on a minority group to take power and to exploit that power for their own benefit. What we're faced with now is a mobilisation on the streets, which is incredibly well funded, organised on a scale I don't think we've seen since, well, I don't even think it was organised on that scale in the 70s. And it's a far-right, violent, targeted movement, largely against people of the Muslim faith. And it's dangerous. The scale of the large mobilisation by Yaxley, Lennon, Tommy Robbins, whatever he calls himself, was huge. And it was violent. And they imported speakers, Islamophobic speakers, from Holland. They've now tried to bring one from America. For every 10 Labour defectors from the 2024 general election, for every 10 that went to Reform, 16 went to parties to the left of us. Greens, Liberals, you name it. And I was trying to get it across to them. Every time you take a step to the right, you will lose support on the left. In addition to that, I think you'll create a spiral in which we go down to the very pits of an authoritarian regime. This is such a serious moment. And the Labour Party will be scrambling round to see what happens with regard to Keir Starmer. I don't think it's if he goes, it's when he goes at the moment. Well, I think he's had his chance. We've had 2 years in which we were promised change, and the change that we've had is to shift us to a position where actually I think we're making huge mistakes, but also we're tarnishing the political debate as well, and I think we're offering the country up to reform. How can we work together to combat the rise of the far right and this prospect of an element of fascism that's introduced into our country? And what we thought we'd do first of all is actually get everyone around the table, and there were over 100 organisations came together, and we said, well, what we'll do first of all is let's organise a march in London itself. And we did. The numbers were huge. And it wasn't just the numbers, it was the diversity of it. Every sector of community was there. And I thought this is the base upon which we build now, bring us all together.